Today will be part 18 to the series Scriptures Often Ignored. And today I'm going to be sharing some inspiration and motivation with you to let you know that no matter where you are on your spiritual walk and your spiritual journey, that Yahuwah is with you. I don't know who you are out there, but just know this, that He is with you and He is preparing a way, and that with Him you do not have to worry about martial law. You do not have to worry about what the government's doing. You do not have to worry about any of the wiles of the devil, because with Him we are protected. And I'm going to share some helpful scriptures with you today that really talk about how He is preparing a way and how He's making a way for His children even in the wilderness. It doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what nationality you are. He is making a way for His people. He is making a way for His chosen. And so we're here in Devarim, or Deuteronomy chapter 8, and it says, "All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahuwah sware unto your fathers." Now, if you're new to this channel, I use the set apart, restored Hebrew names for our Father, Yahuwah, and the Messiah, Yahusha. And it goes on to say in verse 2, "And thou shalt remember all the way which Yahuwah thy Elohim," or Elohim, you can also pronounce that as Elohim, "led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou would keep his commandments or no. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahuwah doth man live." So how do we live? Not just with bread alone, but also by His word. And it goes on to say, verse 4, "Thy raiment waxed not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart, that as a man chasten his son, so Yahuwah thy Elohim chasten thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For Yahuwah thy Elohim bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass." Now the question I have for you is, how can this apply for your life today? Well, think about this as a spiritual wilderness. Like I said, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you may be going through, but this channel is designed to help you in any way with your spiritual walk and journey, as well as give you motivation and inspiration on your walk and journey. And so the question really is how can we really be walking in that spiritual wilderness? What is that spiritual wilderness for us? And how is Yahuwah preparing a way for each and every one of us to walk in that spiritual wilderness? And so for me personally, that spiritual wilderness is really having that set apart time with my Creator Yahuwah. Is being in that set apart place with Him, being alone with Him in the set apart location, and really going to Him in reverence and prayer, and just really being with Him set apart from the rest of the world, behind closed doors, because that's where you're going to find Him, of course, being clean as well. But it goes on to say, verse 10, "When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt Baruch the Yahuwah thy Elohim for the good land which He hath given thee. Beware that thou forget not Yahuwah thy Elohim, in not keeping His commandments and His judgments and His statutes which I command thee this day, lest when thou have eaten and are full, and have built goodly houses and dwell therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thy heart be lifted up, and thou forget Yahuwah thy Elohim, which brought thee forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, or Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint." So who brought them water in the wilderness? Yahuwah did. So like I said, no matter what you're going through, it may even be a dark time in your life. I remember when it was a dark time in my life as well. Well, guess what? When I called upon Yahuwah and called upon the name of Yahuwah and saw who he really is and how he does deliver and how his word is true, just like he delivered the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt and into the land of Canaan, and just like he brought them out of the wilderness and into the promised land, he will bring you too into that promised land. He will bring you too out of every struggle that you're going through. He will bring you out of every pain that you may be experiencing, every hurt, every harm. He will bring you out of all of it. He will bring you out of your situation that you're in, and he will bring you into a place of that flows with milk and honey. But you just have to trust and believe that he will. Call upon his name and start to follow his law, statutes, and commandments. Verse 16, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. Now, why did I highlight humble? Because some of us don't really know, or some of us can't really understand why we're going through the things that we're going through. Why are we going through hard times? We're calling on the name of Yahuwah. We're following the commandments to the best of our ability, or we're starting to follow the commandments and getting away from tradition and religion. We're starting to follow Yahuwah, but yet things still seem to be really tough. Things still seem to not be going so well. But when that happens, that is Yahuwah trying to humble you and make you into his, and it only makes you stronger so that you can cleave unto him even more during those times of pain and suffering, because he will get you through them. Nothing is too hard for him. But here we are at verse 17, and it says, and thou shalt say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand hath gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember Yahuwah thy Elohim, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget Yahuwah thy Elohim, and walk after other gods, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. As the nations which Yahuwah destroyed before your face, so shall ye perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim. So when you are obedient to Yahuwah, when you are following his word, following his voice, doing everything that he is commanding of you, using his set apart name, and even attempting to pray to his set apart name, and really seeking him for the first time if you already have not, and continuously seeking him day by day, that is when he will really show himself to you and bless you, or baruch you, I should say. And that is when he will bring you out of all of the suffering that you may be going through in any situation that you are dealing with. And trust me when I say this, I am a witness to this. And like I said earlier, he will bring you into that spiritual wilderness, but you just have to believe and trust and know that he is Yahuwah, and he will do just what he says he will do, because I'm a witness to this. His word is true. But I just want to read one more passage with you, a full passage, and that's Yashayahu, or Isaiah chapter 41, and then later on Yashayahu, Isaiah chapter 43. And we just read Dabarim, or Deuteronomy chapter 8, but here we are in Isaiah 41, and it says, keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, and then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, Yahuwah, the first and the last. I am he, first and the last, Aleph and the Tav. Let's keep going. The owls saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. They helped every one his neighbor, and every one said to his brother, be of good courage. So Yahuwah is saying that he is what helps us get through everything. And here we're in verse 7, where it says, so the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with the hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering, and he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. But thou, Yashrael, or Israel, art my servant, Yahukub, or Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, or Abraham, my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So, like I said, He is our help, and He is our shield and our buckler. So, whenever we're in trouble, whenever things aren't going right in our lives, we can go to Him, we can cleave to Him, and we know He will be our help. Yahuwah will be the one to help us. And so we're here in verse 11. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. So those who are your enemies, or if you're facing enemies or facing something right now, you don't even have to worry about them, because Yahuwah will take care of them. And I too am a witness to that. Thou shalt seek them and shall not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing, and as a thing of naught. For I, Yahuwah thy Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. He will help us in our time of trouble. He will be with us, and He is preparing a way for us, so we don't even have to worry. But who is He going to help? He's going to help those who are following His laws, statutes, and commandments. He's going to help those who are walking in His ways and are not walking contrary to Him, because those who walk contrary to Him, He walks contrary to them. But let's keep going. We're in verse 14. Fear not, thou worm Yahukub, or Jacob, and ye men of Yashraal, or Israel. I will help thee, saith Yahuwah, and thy Redeemer, the set apart one of Yashraal, or Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahuwah, and shalt esteem in the set apart one of Yashraal, or Israel. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, Yahuwah, will hear them. I, the Elohim of Yashraal, or Israel, will not forsake them. So just like Yahuwah feeds the trees, and He feeds the grasses, and He feeds the animals, He will help you too, and He will make sure that you are taken care of. But what you have to do too is make sure you are serving and reverencing Him. He says He will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. And we already saw this when the children of Israel in the wilderness, where He even provided water for them. And you don't think He's going to do it again? Because we know the time that is at hand. We know what time it is, and we know that even destruction is at the door. But we also know that with Yahuwah, we do not have to worry, because in this wilderness that He will provide for us, both physically and spiritually, that what He will provide and take care and bring us the water and the food, because we hunger and thirst after His righteousness. Verse 19, I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of Yahuwah hath done this, and the set apart one of Yashraal, or Israel, hath created it. And what does the name Yahuwah mean in the Hebrew? It means behold a hand, behold a nail. I know, very powerful. But it goes on in verse 21 to say, produce your cause, saith Yahuwah. Bring forth your strong reasons, saith the king of Yahukub, or the king of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and show us what will happen, and let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods. Yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together. Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come. From the rising of the sun shall he call upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as the potter treadeth clay. Who hath declared from the beginning, that we may know, and before time that we may say he is righteous? Yea, there is none that showeth, yea, there is none that declareth, yea, there is none that heareth your words. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them, and I will give to Yerushalayim, or Jerusalem, one that bringeth good tidings. For I behold, or beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counselor that when I asked of them could answer a word. Behold, they are all vanity, their works are nothing, their molten images are wind and confusion. So only Yahuwah and Yahuwah alone will help you and save you in the time of trouble, nothing else. So I hope you see that, but there's one more place I want to go and take you to so we can learn more about Yahuwah and who he really is. Now we're here in Isaiah or Yashayahu chapter 43, and we're going to be reading from verse 19 because I think it's a really great verse. And it says, Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. So when you understand who Yahuwah really is and how he can turn a desert into a spring, into a garden, and how he could turn a garden into a desert, and how he can do this within a snap of a finger if he wanted to, then you'll really understand and can cleave unto him more in times of trouble, because maybe you're in a spiritual desert right now. Maybe you're just parched in heat. You need some water. You need that spiritual water. You need that spiritual garden, but you don't know where to find it and you don't know where to turn, and you've been turning this way, you've been turning that way, you've been looking to the cactus for some water, you've been looking to the neighbors for some water over there, you've been looking to the farmers, but they don't have any water, you've been looking to the tree and there's no water there. Well, how about now you look to Yahuwah even in the midst of that desert, and what you'll find is that he will provide you and supply you with enough water, with more than enough water, and he will turn your spiritual desert, he will turn that desert of yours into life. He will turn that desert into a garden. He will turn that desert into a spring if only you would believe and trust in him and seek him and be still and know that he is Yahuwah. And hopefully this has been helpful for you. This is Truth Unveiled here saying Shalom.